Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our year-end special program in 36 stratagem. So it's ancient time-honored wisdom of warring time strategies, how to outmaneuver your enemy when you cannot simply overpower them. So yesterday we talked about 美人计 of this 10 years project of one party sending over a beauty, like the best selected from the region, to the enemy side. And the enemy side end up getting distracted by the beauty and didn't do their job to keep their business running well. After 10 years, they were beaten and the leader got killed. So that's supposedly a true historical happening, and that's the most famous strategy ever applied and influential story in China. The main character over there is Xi Shi. Okay, I just want to shout out to the name of one of the top 4, like most, like a girl sacrificing for her country or hometown to sacrifice herself to spend 10 years with somebody who has nothing to do with her. And she was on this mission to seduce him and eventually throw out the enemy, like get your enemy killed. I mean, imagine spend 10 years with somebody and get him killed. That's kind of some skill. Okay. Today we talk about 借尸还魂. Some tough concept here too. Okay. So 借. Maybe we go with word nouns first. We have a 尸 and a 魂. And you can see contemporary 尸 and the ancient one. We got a certain complication process added. So the traditional ones, just almost like an elongated question mark, right? Without the dot at the end. That's how this character was written. And this is supposed to be the head of the whole body. And this long linear, very straight, drapey line, it's just the unmoving body. So this is just a body. Alive or dead, we don't know. It's just something unmoving, lying in there. With the head is the only protruding part, and the rest of them are kind of flat, even out, abstracted into one line. So that's the body. But in contemporary Chinese, we language creators or collective creators eventually add this death symbol underneath the body to make sure, like this means a dead body. It doesn't mean a living thing. But the original is this ambiguous, unmoving body image there. So body, and then we have a soul. Soul comes with 2 parts. One is the cloud sign on the left, and the right is the ghost. I guess it's comforting, right, to know, like, not only in English, we have ghost, the concept. In Chinese, we have ghost too. So to some extent, it's different cultures creating words to address such a supernatural phenomenon. So I guess it was legit, like it probably existed for some people, or at least they feel like they experienced it, right? And it's kind of universal to experience that. So ghost, I mean, I personally haven't experienced that, but it's in the language. So acknowledge, at least on the level of language, we understand that's partially some human experience, to experience non-human consciousness. Okay, so 2 legs as well, but the tail was added. I mean, isn't it interesting of a cross-culture comparison there? Like over here, the devil, the image of the devil or the ghost could be something scary. Might as well have a tail attached to it, right? I don't know why tail. Tail probably signifies the beastly nature of this being. So besides consciousness, like a kind of thinking like a human somewhat, but also retain this beastly, I guess, cruelty nature of it. And then this box with horizontal vertical lines cut through it with a tip on the top, it's not a farm field. Okay, without the tip of the top, it's a farm field. But with the tip, it's probably intentionally distinguish it from the field, from the farmland image, that this is a big-headed, non-human head. So the whole head is kind of oversized in comparison to body, and it has a tail. So this existence, this being depicted in the language was emphasized of this head and the tail, and it also has 2 legs. So that's Chinese rendering of ghost. So ghost, and the left side is a cloud. The cloud, we can understand, okay, there's a limit. The top line is the limit, the vision of the sky limit, that as far as we can see, right? And then the bottom is something hovering under the sky, right? And then this almost looking like a tail as well, right? I mean, there is a certain rhythm here going, corresponding over there. That kind of swiggly, is it called a swiggly? Wiggly thing? Like, I cannot even find a corresponding English writing in the language. What is that? It's hard to depict, right? So it's just a wiggly thing. Now it looks like a worm, right? In this case, I just view it as irregular shape, because cloud, we cannot box up a cloud. It's super irregular shape. So that depicts the irregularity and the hovering underneath the sky. So that's enough to, put the main attributes of what cloud is. And a cloud is something flowy, something unshapely, like you cannot determine the shape. We don't even have in a language, we have, okay, triangle, rectangle, like we have a certain terms for certain shapes, right? Cloud is unnamed for shape. Okay, so you have something cloud and plus some conscious being that's not human combined. That's our soul or ghost. And actually, okay, according to Chinese culture, there is a hun and there is pu. So pu is, by definition, classification of hun and pu. Both of them have this ghost sign in it. So with pu, it's the spirit combined with a living body. That's pu. And if it's a hun, it's the spirit combined with a dead body. That's hun. Okay, that was like back then. And I guess in contemporary, like nobody, like if I don't read up on it, I wouldn't know. Hun and pu means 2 different type of consciousness, with or without a living body to go with it. But in any case here, we just need to know, like here is a kind of floaty thing that can exit in and out of a body. And this is a consciousness that's not human. And the 借尸还魂 here, now we have a body here and we have a soul. And the soul, when it enters into a body, is going to be embodied soul, right? So then they can do stuff, I guess. So we have 借 and 还 in front of it. So 借, borrow this body. So the body's owner, it's not the soul, it's somebody else's, some other souls around there. But here it's borrowed. So borrow have the sign of human figure, so it's between human transaction, right? And then I guess this type of transaction is not transaction in the sense of give and take. Borrow is a loan, right, with interest. So here we have this pointy, almost like a sheep horn looking sign there with the horizontal. So that's our meat symbol, or dry meat, because we can imagine, like before refrigerator, right? Such an invention that we took for granted, right? I mean, I take for granted. I cannot speak to you on your behalf, but we don't, before refrigerator, how are we going to store meat? It gotta be seasoned and dried meat. So this depicts just that. Not fresh meat, but seasoned meat. So there are two of them. And then there is this mouse symbol with horizontal line. That looks like sun, right? So there is this saying of seasoned meat gotta be stored overnight to be regarded not fresh anymore, to be seasoned. So this symbol on the right of this overnight stored seasoned meat was used to mean past at least one day. So that's like from the past. So something from the past. And I would imagine that this would be, say, you run out of meat and you need the protein. You borrow it from your neighbor. And this is between human transaction. I mean, borrowing, lending, like gain a temporary support. So when another time when I have something you don't have, I can return the favor, right? Something like that. It's not exactly like transactional, like real-time exchange. It's I borrow it for you, build some goodwill, and return it later. That kind of borrow. Okay, so return, we have this walking symbol on the left side, which is the food symbol, kind of a cactus looking abstract as food symbol. And then the 3 strokes means footsteps, like a repeated recurring pattern of footsteps on the ground. It's the right side originally was discarded, and left side footstep is enough to represent footprint. So we have foot plus footprint. That's our whole walking sign over here on the left. On the right side, we have this folding of the collar enclosure or the neckline looking like that, kind of like a wrap dress. That's the ancient Chinese outfit of the enclosure of the dress looking like that. So one fold on top of the other, and you have to kind of keep your neck, like instead of like contemporary, like we have a neckline, right? Sew it or cut it in a certain way. We have formed the garment in a certain way. In the back then, it's like a big piece flat of fabric, and how to have a hole over here without cutting it. People fold it. So this triangular like shape in front of the neckline is our folding line of the garment. So this is outfit for outdoor, because we have this cone-shaped hat, which is the, portable and movable forever over your head and hands-free device of sunscreen. That's a great invention later on when I thought about it. You don't have to hold an umbrella, right? There's no staff. There's no holding involved. You just hold it by the head itself, and it shade you like a big area. When the sun is most strong, like most likely from this angle to this angle, right? Your face is covered and the rest of the body is covered by the garment. So the whole thing is an outdoor outfit. And this is the head, in between the hat, in between the cone hat and the garment below. So this is a person in outdoor, and this is a plant symbol on top of that. So there are 2 ways. One is the plant is a vision of like a far away, depicting a far away place, having an outdoor represented by plant. Vision-wise, like if it's rising above the head, that means it's something far away that you can see, right? It's simply a vision thing. Or the second is it's covered. Your cone-shaped head was covered by the plant. I'm not sure if it's for cooling purpose or camouflaging purpose. We couldn't tell, and we couldn't even tell the intention of the language creators. Why this plant, this shape is a plant is placed on top of the cone head? No idea. But the whole thing is it's outdoor, the full outfit to go outdoor, and then we have this eyeball symbol sitting right on top of that. So it means somebody is vision, it's seeing outdoor. So why is a return? I'm guessing this means you're walking outdoor and you see like as far as you can see, and then you're actually not going there. It's just you're seeing you're going there, and you're actually still here. That's my way to explain. That's how you return. is kind of you're going out there, and but then your vision, like, or your intention will still remain here. So eventually you go out, you do your sightseeing, whatever, and you return. Have to come up with some way to explain it, right? So we have 借尸, you borrow the body, 还魂, in order to have the soul to have a new, physical form to reside in. So this 还 means to return, right? Go out and return. In this sense, it would be somebody who passed away, who died, right? The body and the soul departed separate ways, and the body decay, probably gone somewhere, right? And the soul kind of floating, kind of like a cloud, floating somewhere. And then finally the soul find a body, freshly died probably, and the body is empty of the soul, another soul, its own soul. And so this soul can now borrow this body and now put the soul inside this body. And then the body can start to move, have consciousness, do things, right? So that's 借尸还魂. Pretty scary thing to talk about. I'm not into horror genre, but here 借尸还魂, and I'm just using the movie Ghost here to point out the obvious that this universally existing, at least in the language and in the entertainment industry of the stories about ghost, right? And 借尸还魂 means, just by literal meaning, it means revive. Not exactly the same body, but at least the soul find a new embodiment to get back to moving again. And in the 36 stratagem frame, it means you borrow the unlikely object. So 尸 is something, a dead body, right? So it's of no value to in its regular sense of, like, a dead body. You cannot really use it for anything, cannot be a warrior for you, cannot cook for you, take care of you. So dead body is no use, but even you see the value of a dead body, something of little use to people, until you realize what its application for. And then you use that unusable resource, the dead body, to ingest it with whatever intention you want to do, your hun, your soul. So that way you kind of get the body up and live and be useful again. So this, in the 36 stratagem sense, is to make the most use of things that you find. You find something valuable from something previously regarded as of no use. And 36 stratagem mostly talks about how to win in a war situation, right? And the war, a lot of the winning of the war is not a front, a battlefield, a muscle over muscle kind of killing thing. It has to be smart, right? Thought out, planned out. And also a big part of it is to outlast your competitor. Outlast means you have enough resource to feed the whole army so people don't go starving, right? So that's a big part, the supply chain management of the war time, right? And this 借尸还魂 capture somewhat this concept of making the most use of the resources you find along the way, and to make that alive. So, I mean, I could even see this as, recruit new armed forces along the way, on your way to conquer, to go somewhere. Recruit the local people. So before they are recruited to you, they are dead body to you, right? I mean, they're probably farmers back then. But if you can ingest this soul, this mission, sense of mission into them, and then they become revived, and then they can be part of your force, and that's how you can expand. And that's, kind of like the supplying, like you increase the supply, increase the body, increase the resources to yourself as the war wages on. Okay, that's 借尸还魂. Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.